converting. So we're going to take the idea of mass and volume and molecules, atoms, particles, ions, and start relating them together mathematically. Sometimes we want to talk about the number of atoms we have, but we can't count them, so we have to relate them to mass. Same thing with the volume. We may not be able to measure the volume, so we could relate it to the mass or vice versa. So how many grams are in 2.00 moles of helium, He? So we're given moles helium. You should always have a number, a unit, and a substance. We're looking for grams. So we're going to start with our given 2 moles He. All we're doing here is setting up a ratio, but it's a ratio in a format that you're probably not familiar with. Mole is the key to everything. So from mole, I can go directly to grams. In order to cancel my unit of mole, I have to divide by the mole. So we're going to put mole on the bottom to divide by it. Gram is what I want to be left with, so I'm going to put grams on the top. 1 is the number that goes in mole, and molar mass goes with grams. So we look on the periodic table and see that helium has a molar mass of 4.0. So if we look at the units again, mole divided by mole cancels out, leaving us with grams. So my answer is in grams of helium. So we're going to multiply the top, divide the bottom. 2 times 4 is 8, divided by 1 is 8. So the answer is 8. My sig figs have to match my given. I have 3 significant figures in my given, so I need 3 in my answer. So to make 8 have 3 significant figures, we can just add 0.00. And that would be the answer. In number 2, we're given moles of copper, and we're looking for the mass. Now mass is measured in grams, so it's similar to the first problem, but asked in a different way. So we're going to start with our given 3.50 moles copper. To cancel mole, I have to put it on the bottom. Since mole is in the center, it connects everything. I know I can go straight from moles to grams of copper. 1 always goes with mole. The molar mass of copper is 63.5. We're going to multiply and divide. When I do that, my unit mole cancels, leaving me with grams of copper. So then we would say 3.5 times 63.5 divided by 1. We need 3 significant figures, so that's 222 grams of copper. In number 3, we're given 3.01 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of silver, and we're looking for moles. So we start with our given 3.01 times 10 to the 23rd atom silver. To cancel atom, I have to put it on the bottom. Now from atom, I can go to mole. Mole is always what you can convert to and convert from. 1 is going to go on the top this time because I have mole on the top. Atom gets Avogadro's number, 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. So I'm going to multiply and divide. Atom cancels atom, leaving me with moles of silver. 3.01 special button 23 times 1 divided by 6.022 special button 23. And my calculator gives me 0.4998. I only need 3 significant figures, so we're going to round, and the answer would be 0.500 moles of silver. In number 4, we have how many atoms of aluminum are in 2.75 moles. So 2.75 moles is my given. My substance is aluminum. I'm looking for atoms. So I'm going to start with my given, 2.75 moles Al. I want to cancel moles, so we're going to put mole on the bottom. I want atoms, so we're going to put atoms on the top. 1 always goes with mole. Atoms is Avogadro's number, 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd. We're going to multiply and divide. My moles would cancel, leaving me with atoms of Al. So 2.75 times 6.022 special button 23 divided by 1 gives me 1.66 times 10 to the 24th atoms of aluminum. In number 5, this one is probably the more difficult problem. You have 1.2 times 10 to the 8th atoms of copper, and we are looking for the mass. Notice this time we're not given moles, but mole is the key. Everything has to pass through that center mole. So this is going to tell me I need to do 2 steps or 2 ratios. So we always start with our given, 1.20 times 10 to the 8th atom copper. I want to get rid of the atom, so I have to put it on the bottom. The only thing I can convert to is mole. 1 goes with mole, Avogadro's number goes with atoms. So if I multiply and divide, the atom would cancel, leaving me with mole. But I don't want mole, I want the mass or grams. So I'm going to have to set up another conversion. I want to cancel my mole, so I put it on the bottom, and convert to grams, so I put grams on the top. 1 goes with mole, the molar mass, 63.5, goes with grams. So again, when I multiply and divide here, my mole will cancel, leaving me with an answer of grams of copper. So now I can do the math. 1.20 special button 8 times 1 divided by 6.022 special button 23 times 63.5 divided by 1 would give me an answer of 1.27 times 10 to the negative 14 grams of copper. If you're not given moles and you're not looking for moles, it's 2 steps to get to the answer. In number 6, we're given 4 grams of SO2 and we're looking for atoms of oxygen. So we have to start with our 4 grams of SO2. Mole is the key, so the only thing I can do right now is convert grams to moles. 1 goes with mole, the molar mass goes with grams. So sulfur plus 2 oxygens is 64.1. If I was to multiply and divide, I would end up with moles of SO2. But I want atoms of oxygen, so I'm going to have to do an extra step here. Mole is the only time that we can switch what we're talking about. So we're going to have to switch from talking about SO2 to just talking about oxygen. For every 1 SO2, I have 2 oxygens from the subscript. So now if I multiply and divide, I can cancel out the mole, and I'm looking at moles of oxygen. So then I can set up my last ratio, mole of oxygen on the bottom. I want atoms of oxygen on the top. 1 mole is equal to Avogadro's number. So when I multiply and divide, my mole of O would cancel, leaving me with atoms of O, which is what I'm looking for. So we would say 4 times 1 divided by 64.1 times 2 divided by 1 times 6.022 special button 23 divided by 1. And we have an answer of 7.52 times 10 to the 22nd atoms of oxygen. One last one. We have grams of water, and we have looking for moles of water. Notice this time it's the same substance again, so I do not need this extra piece of going mole to mole. So we're going to start with 2.72 times 10 to the negative 4 grams of water. I want to cancel my grams, so I'm going to divide by grams. And I want moles, so we're going to put mole on top. 1 goes with mole. The molar mass, 2 hydrogens plus an oxygen, is 18.0. So 2.72 special button negative 4 times 1 divided by 18 would give me 1.51 times 10 to the negative 5 moles of water. This is not something that you can memorize. It's a process that you have to understand.